Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since I posted anything here on YouTube. Life and work will do that to you. But I'm back, hoping to post more and more often, so we'll see how that goes. This is part 3 of the Treadwell project, and today I'm building the base section of the droid. The first thing I do when I scratch build something new is to draw up a plan on paper and work out all my measurements. Once I have the plan, I buy materials and work out how I plan to make this thing. In this case, I'm making the side of the base using a 3/4 inch piece of hardwood. The hardwood will provide structure and strength to the overall base of the droid. I transfer my measurements to the piece of wood prior to making any cuts. This is a 1 inch by 2 inch piece of hardwood and will become the cross members for this base. I marked them at 18-inch lengths. 18 inches will be the inside width of the base of the droid. A 1 by 12 inch board is used to make the top platform of the base. Quick trip to the chop saw and cut all the boards down to size. I do not have a table saw, so I use a circular saw to cut any of the longer sections. Assembling the frame with wood screws and glue. Turn the frame upside down and place the top board on the bench. This board was cut down widthwise to 10 3/4 inches. As with the previous parts, I will release the drawings I created for the base as well. For the next step, I mark the pass-through holes for the axles. The frame for the Treadwell is made of Acto Robotics U-channel. In my initial planning, I figured out what pieces I would need prior to starting. You could weld a frame together or use other techniques. I like the large selection of pieces and parts available through this system. Sadly, the system is discontinued. However, there is a replacement for it called GoBuilda. It is basically the same thing, except it is based on the metric system. You'll have to make modifications to my design to make it work with this new system. In this design, every axle will need 1 bearing. For axles without a motor, you will need 2 bearings. There are 4 sections that house the non-motor axles and bearings. The track tension system is built into this metal frame. This is the front section, which will hold the motors with the axles and wheels. The rear section has the remaining axles and wheels. The 2 sections are connected by 2 1-inch stainless steel tubes. In the process of figuring out what I needed for the frame, I ended up with enough pieces to build a complete second frame. This frame will be used in a different project. The top of this base will be connected to the bottom of the mast, so drilling holes to attach the mast here. Drilled a large center hole for wires to pass into the mast. Here I'm drilling open the pass-through holes for the axles. The rear holes are elongated so that the frame can move forward and back to tension the tracks. The metal frame is attached to the wood base I created using screws. The lower section of the mast is really part of the base of the droid. I removed the lower section of the mast and attached it to the base with screws. Aluminum flashing is used for the front and back ends of the base. Cut it to length carefully as the stuff is super sharp. The aluminum is nailed into place with small finishing nails. It is very easy to shape as you work. Thin sheets of steel are used to cover the front and back openings of the base. These panels are attached with screws. I will eventually hold the front panel in place with magnets to allow easy access to the batteries. I applied Bondo to all exposed wood areas to remove any wood grain or texture. Then onto my favorite thing in the whole world, sanding. The entire base will require at least one round of sanding. To make the side cages, I purchased metal mesh available from Home Depot. The metal's cut into appropriate shape with metal shears. I ended up 3D printing a frame for each side. The metal is bent and attached to the 3D printed part. Additionally, I modeled and printed a mount for the cages. This will give me a mounting point on each side, and one of them will house the switches to turn the droid on and off. The back panel of the base has an antenna. This is a printed replica of the antenna. I drilled a hole through the panel and the base of the antenna to attach them. The base is primed with filler primer to fill in small imperfections. More sanding, and I use glazing putty to fill in any remaining low spots. This is a final sanding of the glazing putty. This section of the droid is painted black to help hide the area under the two side cages. The base is coated in the same green paint used on the head. The antenna was primed black and then primed silver, adding a stripe accent detail to the base of the droid. I'm only doing the initial base colors and will make a separate weathering and detail painting video. Added tape to mask off the areas I want to remain paint-free. I wanted a visual difference between my two Treadwells. With the base part completed, it is now on to the wheels and treads. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.